Say jeepers. It's Harmless Phosphorescence. Hello, everyone. This is your host, Throw Smiley, and I, too, draw myself in situations with Brooke Shields. I'm not going to share those drawings, though. Who's joining me this week?
Josh Cece, and I'm glad you're here, but I'll tell you one thing. The horses are extra.
Let me show you something I learned when I was in the Boy Scouts of America. I'm Brian Lesh.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I believe I'd be a suck-egg mule if I wasn't.
That was my number.
It's true.
I am a suck-egg mule.
This is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch some movies. We tell you all about them. I've got to rewrite this beginning because we're so far past the initial premise of this podcast that I don't know what we are anymore. But we watch movies. Right now we're watching a series of kind of comic strip based or comic adjacent films. We gather some research into the production and the source material, and we tell you all about it. This show is brought to you by patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You can be a patron too. Go to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We got lots of bonus stuff there. We've got a bunch of Star Wars stuff up there and music shows. We're going to be doing our follow-up to Every Which Way But Loose, which is anything that you can do, Clyde can do better.
The Return of Clyde.
Which way but goose?
And any which monkey but back. Any which way you can, I think is the actual name of the film. We'll be doing that this month. $1 a month. That is all you need to get started there. Patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. This week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are watching Brenda Starr.
She started in the comics.
I've had it. So bug off, Buster.
Yes, Brenda! Now she's jumped to the front page.
What was that?
Just the biggest story since the atomic bomb.
But the story isn't the only thing on her mind.
Hello?
In the last 24 hours, she's been kidnapped.
Forget it, sister. I'll be back.
Shot at.
Catch her!
Hijacked.
Take us to the Amazon. The horses go destra.
Tortured.
Jeepers!
And fed to piranhas.
Oh, no.
She's much more than a woman.
Hello.
Much more than your average reporter.
Get me the White House, please. Are you okay?
Much more than any man could handle.
What do they want?
You. She's a star.
Here's to the star.
Brenda Starr. Brooke Shields.
I'm ready.
And Timothy Dalton. In Brenda Starr.
Brenda Starr. That trailer was in higher definition than the actual movie we watched.
It was. Except for that soft light of Timothy Dalton turning on the desk lamp.
Yeah.
Did this air did this play in theaters?
Yes.
For like a week or two, or
yeah, we'll get there. It was in theaters eventually. It's a journey getting there. It was released in the United States on April 17th, 1992.
Hmm.
is that Rodney King riots? Was 92?
It was. Yes.
Yeah, that's the week before the riots in LA.
This is another tragic victim of the Rodney King riots.
This
What was the other movie that we
This
had?
sparked the riots.
Well, yeah, what was it? There was another movie that they blamed the Rodney King riots on its failure.
Or was it OJ? Yeah, it was Rodney. Yeah.
Or was it the O.J. Simpson?
No, it was Rodney King. I can't
Car
remember
chase.
which.
Rodney
I can't
King,
remember
yeah.
what was it. It wasn't. Oh, what was it? Was it? Yeah, I can't remember. At some point, one of us might. But yes, so
Well, we just did a run of 92 movies.
we did. Yeah. I don't.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it doesn't help.
So yeah, this was released, like I said, in 1992. Runs 93 minutes long. It cost $16 million, and at the box office, it brought in $67,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was not a hit. Yeah. But that's okay because the only real loser there is the Saudi Arabian royal family, which we'll get to.
Wow. Wowzers.
Yeah, that's as good a segue as any. We want to get into the box office top 10 game.
Let's do it.
This is the game where I will describe the top 10 movies of the week of April 17th, 1992. Brenda Starr opened at number 20 that week, so it will not be in the top 10. And I think that's the highest it ever got. So,
Well, if it made $60,000, I don't expect it to go up.
yeah. Yeah, it made $30,000 its first week. So,
60,000 smackaroos.
all right. So, not opening, but at number 10 this week, the week of April 17th, 1992, a young, mixed blood FBI agent is assigned to work with a cynical veteran investigator on Thunderheart. Yes, that was Kilmer, right? Yeah, Sam
Yeah,
Shepard.
Sam. It's a really good movie. I love that movie.
It's interesting the things you can get away with in 92, though. In the description of a movie, the term mixed blood is definitely dated.
It's a weird way to put it, but yeah, he's half indigenous.
Say a half Native American.
Yeah.
Oof.
We say mixed race. Whatever.
Mixed
Yeah, it's
blood.
just one of those.
Soft language is going to destroy us.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Mixed,
Yeah, it's just interesting to hear it. Like, oh, whoa, wow.
Oh, hey, mixed. Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
mixed blood is half a step from mud blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But it means the same thing. Just one word makes us feel warmer.
Yeah.
Mixed race.
At number 9 this week, two slacker friends try to promote their public access cable show.
Main's World.
Party time. Excellent. Number 8. The magical inhabitants of a rainforest fight to save their home.
Fern Gully.
Fern Gully.
The Last Rainforest.
Oh,
Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest.
I forgot that it had a subtitle.
Opening this week at number 7. An American doctor, a British nurse, and an illiterate Indian farmer walk into a bar. Unite to transform a Calcutta ghetto in this uplifting, inspirational movie starring Patrick Swayze and Pauline Collins.
Jesus.
Patrick Swayze is white savior. I'm assuming.
Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, this was definitely like a prestige-y, Oscar-y swing on his part.
English Patient kind of movie.
Yeah, but much worse.
He's trying to punch poverty out of the ghetto.
He's gonna dance poverty away.
Yeah, dance it away. Nobody puts India in the corner.
Except Britain. Britain definitely put India in
it
the
definitely
corner.
did. I don't know.
It's called City of Joy.
No,
Yeah.
don't know it.
Opening at number 6 this week, a uniformed police officer is recruited by the DEA to infiltrate a drug smuggling ring looking to expand its operation. That's Lawrence Fishburne on the cover. Let's
You're
see.
muted. No, what were you saying?
I just said he's doing it on purpose now.
Yeah, I am.
New Jack City.
No. Oh, with music by Dr. Dre.
In 92?
Yeah. He'd be the perfect criminal if he wasn't the perfect cop. Says the tagline. It's called Deep Cover. I have not heard of this.
Oh, I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Opening at number 5 this week. A baseball legend is unheroic to those that know him.
A League of Their Own.
No.
The
Field
Babe.
of Dreams?
The Babe. Yeah.
The Babe.
The Babe.
I was totally
Oh, I loved that movie.
joking.
Mm-hmm. It's The Babe. Pig in the City.
That'll do.
What babe?
The Babe with the power.
The power of home runs.
Power of
And-
calling
and
your
a pit-
shots.
Pitch 3 balls in one hand.
No.
And
Yeah.
eat an entire child in one sitting.
Yeah. Drank an entire gallon of bourbon with dinner.
Then he arm wrestled Andre the Giant.
Yeah, they don't make them like they used to.
Him and Teddy Roosevelt used to go out bear wrestling together. At number 4 this week at the box office, a mother and son team of strange supernatural creatures move to a small town.
Mother and son are strange creatures?
I think so, yes. They moved to a small town that outlawed dancing. No. To seek out a young virgin to feed on. This
Mother
is
and
Stephen
son.
King adjacent. It's a Stephen King joint. They feast on your fear, and it's dinner time.
Oh, God, I know what this is.
Mother and
Sleepwalkers?
Sleepwalkers, yeah.
I was good. Wow.
Yeah.
You.
Thank you,
I
Al.
talked myself out of that one.
Yeah, it was I guess
indeed.
it says the first Stephen King story written expressly for the screen. I would like to discuss Maximum Overdrive. Well, I guess that was
Yeah.
based on a short story, wasn't it? Even
I
though
think
Stephen
it
King
was,
wrote
but it
the
was-
script.
Yeah.
At number 3 this week. An adoptee becomes the center of attention for a loving family, but must contend with a kidnapping doctor and his henchmen.
Annie.
Annie. Annie was the one that got hit by
Manny.
the Rodney King riots. That's the last movie we were talking about that with.
Annie?
What?
Annie was like
Annie came out in
1982.
1982.
Oh,
That's why I made this joke, because 92, that came out in 82, but it,
God,
or-
that's right. We just did 82. My brain is broken.
Back in 82, you could beat anyone by the side of the road that you wanted to. It wasn't
Yeah.
until the 90s when we were like, hey,
Yeah, they're
cut it out.
yeah. In 82, 82 was still essentially 1952 as far as anything outside of like
Yeah, only the drugs and music were different.
yeah. This is the adoptee may or may not be a human being.
Okay, is this
Not The Omen.
No.
the,
No.
the good son?
No. By not a human being, I mean not supernatural, but an
animal?
yes.
Okay, give me the real quick.
This guy is really giving Charles Grodin the business.
Oh,
Oh,
Beethoven.
Beethoven.
Beethoven, yes.
that man will remain a mystery to me until the day. of
Charles
you
Grodin.
guys. Yeah,
Yeah, no.
I have no idea what he ever was planning to do with his career, but I love the choices he made.
It was bizarre, and he's a bizarre personality to be
Yeah.
in all the roles he was in.
And he knows how to act with Muppets better than
Better than
most.
anybody. No.
Yeah.
It's crazy that he has the same chemistry with Kermit the Frog as he has with Robert De Niro.
Yeah, or Miss Piggy. I genuinely believed he was into her.
No, that man was looking to romance that pig.
Oh, Grodin. I love him, and so I married an axe murderer.
Oh,
He tries to commandeer his car. He's just like, no. What do you mean, no? No. I just love it.
At number 2 this week, 2 hustlers join forces to double their chances of winning money on the street.
Sting?
No.
And not Jody
That was like
Rotten
72,
Scoundrels.
Brian.
Yeah.
Brian's time slipping. Jody
Years
Rotten
that end in
Scoundrels?
2.
No.
No. These hustlers have a specific skill set that revolves around a sport.
Rounders? No.
No.
Oh. Is it pool?
Oh,
They
white
ju-
men can't jump.
White men are unable to jump, yes.
Well, I'd like to argue that we can't really jump very high.
Okay, yes, true. Fair.
And I only jump when David Lee Roth tells me it's okay.
You can
What about the
go ahead
Pointer
and
Sisters?
jump. No.
Yeah, that's true. Them too.
What about a House of Pain?
What about crisscross?
So many people want us to jump.
They really
Yeah,
The
man.
do.
knees. It's bad on the knees.
It is.
When did music get so demanding on its listener?
Well,
It always
and the Miami Sound Machine urging us to dance.
Yeah. That was right next to the CNC Music Factory. They were similar in the.
Yes.
They were always telling us. They're like, twist again,
Remember how
in our
last summer you
charter.
twisted? Do it now.
again.
At number 1 this week, and it's 5th weeks, still number 1. A violent police detective investigates a brutal murder that might involve a manipulative and seductive novelist.
Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct.
Oh, that's why 92 came up.
Yeah.
That must
I'll
have been the
bet.
92 movie that
That-
we were.
Yeah.
That was a 92 movie we did, a few months ago. I
And
can't.
it was at this point, it was 5 weeks. Yeah, we must have talked about it then.
Which one was it? Encino Man was. What? There was one of them that.
Like that.
Oh,
Encino
the
Man
Rutger
was
Hauer
90
movie. The Rutger Hauer movie blamed the Rodney King.
Oh, that's right. Oh, what was that movie
that.
called? Split Second?
Yeah,
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
it was split second.
Yeah,
That was
that's right, because the
crazy.
title has nothing to do with the movie.
That movie.
Blame it on the riots.
April 25th, 1992, there was a riot going on. Tell me, where were you? I was watching Split Second.
I was watching
Yeah.
Split Second. I was in line
Well-
for Brenda Starr. Thank you.
And I'm pretty sure that Sublime lyric is not the right date. I think that the riots were on the 22nd. I think that Brad Noel changed the words because it didn't sound right.
I panicked
Or
and I
math,
found the
I don't know.
safest place I could think of a showing of Brenda Starr.
Or it was like the early 90s when he wrote that song and there was no internet and he couldn't look it up, and that was the best of his memory. It was like it was the end of April, like the 25th or something. Close enough.
I thought it was June. Maybe I'm wrong.
My biggest memories of that is the daily Channel 1 like updates we got on the school announcements. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anderson Cooper and Lisa Ling.
Yeah.
Really? That was
Yeah.
who was doing the school announcements all the way back then?
Well, I did the school announcements. Channel 1. Channel 1 was something that was broadcast, to schools educationally. And it was where Anderson Cooper got to start, Lisa Ling. I think a couple of other.
Because I remember hearing
uh,
about Channel 1, but I don't think it was a service that was around by the time I was in school.
Yeah, it was.
I remember teachers talking about I
And they
remember
probably
Channel 1.
phased it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically a 10-minute like news of the world for the
Right.
teens.
Or like a science corner or international news.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool that you did the announcements, Josh.
I did the announcements with my best friend whose name is also Josh.
It was a whole
That
thing.
was-
There was a
whole
war with another duo and like
Thoreau, did you
We-
also do announcements?
I never did the announcements, no.
I did. I had a weekly. It was not as scripted and entertaining as the Josh and Josh show.
Entertaining's arguable, but yeah.
Yeah, they never would have let me do the announcements. I did all the sports games, and that was a risk.
I was just going to say we covered the football games because we were the least sporty, whatever. And got to be a thing. The football team loved us.
Yeah.
Until we got so lazy where we started recording both reaction videos so we could leave during halftime. We would have somebody say it was a great win, and then say it was a great loss, a terrible loss.
The whole like Nixon like has 2 speeches in case they die on the moon thing.
Exactly. Yeah, so lazy. Anywho.
All right. Well, that.
I just love the idea of Nixon being lazy writing that second speech.
He's like, they died. I don't have any copies of any of them. I think they've been recorded over, but I have one episode that never made it to air.
The lost episode.
You're in that one. It was a campus cleanup day.
Oh.
And they just thought, like there's a shot of McJunkin walking down the hall, ripping all the pep posters off of people's lawn. So creating litter.
Wasn't that one like too hot to air?
Yeah.
Like
yes.
The masses can't take it.
That was towards where they're like, we're cutting the plug on all this thing.
The chief is on my ass.
Where's the news?
So, all right, that is the box office top 10, which brings us
92, man.
Yeah, which brings us to the character and comic strip background. Al, star us.
I will. Brenda Starr, Reporter, is a newspaper comic strip about a glamorous, adventurous female reporter in Chicago. It was created in 1940 by Dale Messick, pseudonym of Dahlia Messick, for the Chicago Tribune Syndicate. Although set in Chicago, Brenda Starr, Reporter was the only syndicate strip not to appear in the Chicago Tribune newspaper when it came out.
She worked for a competing newspaper, that's why.
The Flash.
I'm not going to give the Flash free
The movie
advertising.
The Flash is in New York.
Yeah, the movie put her in New York.
But same ownership as Annie that we learned last week. The Chicago.
Yes, indeed. When the strip debuted on June 30th, 1940, it was relegated to a comic book supplement that came with the Sunday Tribune. It eventually appeared regularly in the Sunday Tribune paper proper, but a daily strip was not added until October 22nd of 1945. The strip saw its greatest popularity in the 50s, appearing in 250 newspapers. Dahlia Messick submitted her first comic strip, Ouija, fresh out of high school in the 20s. No idea what it was about, but it was rejected.
I'm assuming ghosts?
I don't know. Ouija? Not like the Ouija board.
Not an Ouija board? Oh.
No. Weegee.
Oh. I assume it's somebody who cleans windows or something. Ouija with a squeegee.
After attending the Art Institute of Chicago, Messick made her living designing greeting cards. Messick submitted 3 more strips in the 30s. Peg and Pootie and Streamlined Babies were about Depression-era heroines ahead of their time, while Mimi the Mermaid explored a fantasy theme. Believing the editors were prejudiced against female cartoonists, Messick signed her work Dale Messick. Still, all her strips were rejected.
Oof.
They're like, it's not about you being a woman.
In 1940, Messick created a new heroine, Girl Bandit Brenda Starr, whose looks were modeled after film star Rita Hayworth and named after popular socialite Brenda Frazier.
I can see the Rita Hayworth.
Yeah.
She submitted the strip to the Chicago Tribune New York News Syndicate, but syndicate chief Joseph Meadow Patterson, quote, had tried a woman cartoonist once and wanted no more of them.
Oh, no.
What the? See, that won't compute in my brain.
Yeah. Patterson's assistant, Molly Slott, who would eventually become vice president of the syndicate, found the discarded samples and encouraged Messick to make Brenda a reporter. Patterson then accepted the strip, but initially ran it only in the Tribune's Sunday comic supplement, as previously stated. Even after it became a daily strip 5 years later, Patterson refused to run Brenda Starr reporter in his other paper, the New York Daily News. Brenda Starr finally made it into the Daily News in 1948, 2 years after Patterson's death. The strip was met with other forms of chauvinist resistance after it was established. Whenever Messick drew in cleavage or a navel, the syndicate would erase it. Messick was once banned in Boston after Brenda was shown smoking a polka dot cigar.
In Boston.
A polka dot cigar?
Polka dot
Baby
cigar.
smoke cigars in Boston. You ever been to Worcester?
Dahlia Messick continued as the strip's creator until she retired in 1980, after which the strip was continued by several female writer-illustrator teams. And Brenda Starr Reporter ended its comic strip run on January 2nd, 2011. Characters appearing in this movie. We have, of course, Brenda Starr, ace reporter for the metropolitan newspaper, The Flash. The picture of a modern woman, contemporary in her clothing and hairstyles, noted for her exotic adventures and steamy romances.
And her nonsensical travel plans.
Yeah.
Basil St. John, Brenda's mystery man. Known for his eye patch and black orchid serum. Brenda...
Sorry, known for his eye patch. It'd be like being known for your prosthetic leg. This is my friend Brad. He's known for his fake leg.
He's not known for the jumbo cobra that lives in the Amazon.
He's not,
the Cobra Grande.
He's not known for
The Cobra Grande. Thank you.
the Doritos Locos Cobra Grande.
Brenda and Basil finally married before Dahlia Messick's retirement. The couple had a baby girl named Star Twinkle St. John.
Star Twinkle St. John.
This is when they became hippies.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's
This
some real hippie shit right there.
Kanye figured out how to name his children from this comic book character.
Yeah.
Apparently, Basil had a child from another woman whose name was Sage St. John.
That cad.
And their child's name was Incense.
And Peppermint was the other one.
I think it was Rosemary's Baby. Then we have Pesky Miller, wisecracking cub reporter. Rarely taking an active role in the story, Pesky served as a voice in the newsroom that admires Brenda. Hank O'Hare, female city editor, with a notably androgynous look, helps keep Brenda's feet on the pavement. Atwell Liveright, managing editor at The Flash, a tough boss with a heart of gold, reinforced with steel. The wiki article I read did not mention any direct analogs to Libby Lipscomb, Brenda's rival at a competing newspaper, nor the Russians Vladimir and Luba, but these plot elements must surely have appeared at some point. Brenda Starr Reporter was a comic book series published by 4 different publishing houses, 4-Star, Superior, Charlton, and Dell, between the years of 1947 and 1963. And finally, there were 2 lines of Brenda Starr fashion dolls. The first in the 60s didn't go so well, and the second in the 2000s. The 60s one was very Barbie-like. They just put red hair on it.
I mentioned this last night when we were talking about the movie. The cutout paper dolls. I Googled it. There are so many Barbara Starr cutout paper dolls. I just texted you guys a picture of them. But Aretha, her cousin, is that what we determined? Aretha's the cousin?
A breath of breeze.
A breath of breeze. I thought it was a breatha, like Aretha.
I thought it was a breatha because a breath of fresh air.
It's true. But there's an Aretha cutout doll, and it is incredible.
Oh, there is. Wow.
Oh,
It is incredible.
Is she dressed like Wonder Woman?
She looks like a portly Wonder Woman.
I mean, Wonder Woman is wearing women's underwear from the time. So
fair.
she's wearing women's underwear from the time.
Because it was a
but it's-
BDSM strip.
Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting to see that they were selling comics so that girls would buy them so that they could change their outfits. You know, I mean, it's very sexist, but at the same time, it's interesting that there's a target market for women for comics, and that they were trying to massage their product into something that would be more palatable for girls. Because I'm sure this comic was on its back heels the entire time it existed. I don't think that it was ever wildly popular. It had 4 comic book, distributors, and yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
when we were talking about Brenda Starr was not. When we were talking about Annie, I was saying I did like a top 10 comics. I actually don't think Brenda Starr was in there because it would have been too. Oh yeah, it was too soon.
but I mean,
So she's a reporter. I'm just curious. Was there any World War II correspondence stuff with Brenda Starr in Europe?
she didn't start till
Or in
after
the
World War
Pacific?
II, right?
Oh, I thought she predated.
Or was it?
Like
Yeah,
1940.
1940.
Oh,
she-
40. Okay.
She started. I don't know. Yeah. My sources did not reveal a lot of the plot lines from the early days. That's what we got.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you, Al, for that look into the source of.
I'm just looking at Brenda Starr, Reporter, the film. In 1945, the 25th serial by Columbia Pictures was Brenda Starr, Reporter. So there was a serialized version of this in 1945.
Yeah, and there was also a 1976 TV film. So I mean, it was a popular IP.
I understand the appeal. Yeah, I mean, female reporter. Yeah.
I want a brief. So okay, because it got its start as a syndicated strip, not a book as much. I mean, it went into comic books, but it started as a strip. I briefly, I found let's see, it is the Ohio. What's it called? The Ohio Blade. From the week that this was released, ran a story called "Brenda Becomes Brooks' Bomb."
Wow. Alliteration.
About how badly it's doing. They break it down. At the Man Westwood, Brenda Starr ticket sales Wednesday totaled $311 for the day, which works out to an average of 10 moviegoers a show. Like, we really want to drive home how much people don't like this movie.
In terms of math.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm curious what their target market was. Was this a movie for young women? Was this a movie for young men? Is this a movie for adult women? Today we have that cross section of what were they targeting?
Right. They don't. It's hard to say because it didn't really get made that way.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
But just real fast, that story is right next to the comics page of the Ohio Blade from April 1992. Brenda Starr is not running in this on here, but we do have, of course, Garfield, Peanuts, Calvin and Hobbes, Funky Winkerbean, for better or worse. Blondie's still running, and
Sally's probably in there.
The weekly Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I just want to read this Spider-Man right here. Mary Jane says to Peter, "When we were married, you told me the story of why you had become Spider-Man, and I loved you for it. And I remember the lesson you said you had learned. With great power comes great responsibility."
Wow.
And Peter says, "Which means I can never stop being the web spinner, just as I can never stop loving you more and more each day." and they kiss.
But they're not married anymore, is what I'm led to believe from that.
Yes.
I don't think they were married yet at that point, right? But
because she says when we were married. Does that mean
she
on
does.
our wedding?
I think
day?
she means on our wedding day.
Oh,
I think
okay,
they're
not back before our divorce.
But can you just imagine week to week you're trying to catch up on Spider-Man?
Yes.
And this week all they do is say I love you and kiss.
Every week was because it was 3 panels, right? So every week it was just 3 sentences of exposition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard.
That of course is right next to the Wizard of Id. Kathy.
Yeah.
And
Kathy.
Yeah, Garfield this week is tremendous. He's playing with a ball of string and it unravels on top of him and he thinks to himself, we're having some fun now.
Oh,
that's it. That's the whole strip.
Cat.
So this was not the Sundays. This was
This is a weekday strip.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a weekday strip. But some of the other ones on here, Gil Thorpe, Curtis, Apartment 3G, Steve Roper. These are all
I remember too many of those.
Those are all those soap opera ones that were ongoing, serialized. They weren't funnies.
Mm-hmm.
What was the doctor one that ran forever?
Rex something MD, right?
Rex Reed?
Rex MD.
No.
Not Rex Reed. He was a movie critic.
Yeah.
And Rex Allen was a cowboy, but it was Rex Morgan MD?
Rex Morgan MD.
Yes.
That's what it is. Calvin and Hobbes parodied it a couple of times. It was always so fun to see him and Sally playing dolls or playing house.
Yeah.
But in Rex Morgan MD style.
All right. So to the production of the film. In 1981, there was a script going round, and it was reported that Deborah Harry was going to play Brenda Starr.
That could be cool.
It could be. I've never has she done any film work? I can't think of anything.
I mean, is this really that demanding of a role?
I guess not. But
she's not really acting. She's just kind of saying lines.
Yeah.
No offense to Brooke Shields. That's just how the character's written.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, honestly, I feel like Brooke Shields is fine in this. I feel like she doesn't really have the chops. Like she should have been a little snappier, more not wisecracking, but a little.
She's like a discount Lois Lane.
She should have been more Lois Laney.
Yeah, she should have been a better version of Lois Lane.
Yeah. But George Hamilton at that point was going to play Basil St. John.
Oh God, he still could have played it in '92. It would have been incredible.
Well, that's the thing is this movie was released in '92, but it was not made in '92.
Oh my God, I didn't even consider that.
So in 1984, Tomorrow Entertainment bought the rights to the Brenda Starr film. They were going to make a low budget movie that was going to be made for television. They hired James Buchanan and Nora Stone to write the script. James Buchanan and Nora Stone are not Moon. So okay, Nora Stone's
Noreen.
I'm sorry, not Nora. Noreen Stone is mostly known for writing Dynasty episodes. TV. They were TV writers, basically. And it was supposed to be a TV film. So
that would have worked so much better.
Yeah.
I mean, this would have been a great pilot for a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not all 2 hours of it, but
but yeah.
So they were contacted by Terry Shields, Brooke Shields' mom, because Brooke was a huge Brenda Starr fan and wanted to play Brenda Starr.
Oh my God. Are you kidding? That's incredible.
At this point, 1984, Brooke Shields is 19 years old.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell she's into it. She's not a very good actress in general, but you could tell she's into it.
Yeah.
She looks like she's having fun doing
She
it,
does.
which for this kind of role is the main thing.
Right.
So they obviously agreed to Brooke Shields since they were not expecting to get anyone of that level of fame involved. And they got in contact with an investor, Sheikh Abdul Aziz Al Ibrahim, brother-in-law of the Saudi King Fahd.
Wow.
He had 3 conditions by which he would finance the film. Brooke Shields has to play Brenda Starr.
Okay.
It has to be theatrical, made for theaters, not for television. And there would be no advanced distribution deal negotiated.
I was expecting crazy conditions.
Yeah.
That seems pretty boilerplate.
He didn't demand a James Bond
Well,
play Basil.
Right. Or like his own personal elephant be in the movie, or some
Right,
weird
something like
Saudi prince.
Well, it's interesting, and there's of course a lot of okay. So was some of that, the tawdry Hollywood rumors about Brooke Shields, young, like how going to the Middle East as favors for the Saudi royal family.
In the parlance,
it's not uncommon
times.
for young ingenues to visit the Middle East. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that hasn't changed. That's interesting though to consider.
Yeah.
Well, because she's been tugged
Qatar is a
along
beautiful
by-
city.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, poor Brooke Shields. Actually.
Yeah, no, she had a oh my God.
It was like Jodie Foster. Obviously it changed these women.
I read
and like their parents are involved too, like pushing them into roles.
I read it
doesn't help.
I mean, she had a Playboy layout when she was 10 years old. She was 10 years old. She was not nude.
Promote Pretty Baby.
She was not nude in it, but she had a Playboy layout. Yeah.
Because in that movie, she's wearing like slips and satin, like she's basically.
Well, and there's an article
10-year-old.
about like her first kiss and stuff, and that she wrote that was from her point of view. I don't think she actually wrote it, but it was written from her point of view at the age of 10, and talking about what she likes in a man. She's not talking about boys. She refers to them as men.
She wrote a memoir recently. I bet it's depressing as shit.
Yeah. She had Brooke Shields' 70s life was fucked up.
Is she a Scientologist, or am I thinking of somebody else?
No, but what you're thinking of is she did an interview on Oprah or something talking about postpartum depression and how medication helped her. And Tom Cruise took his energy, and platform to break this woman down.
That's the one where he called Matt Lauer glib, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that was around same time.
She said, "You don't need medication. You just need to get rid of Thetans." She's a fucking yeah.
And it turns out Matt Lauer wasn't glib. He was actually abusive. So,
yeah, he was a creep.
Yeah. He wasn't glib. He was horny, Tom.
Yeah, I wonder if she's one of the ones who got away from Scientology, because there are people that clearly like were in their realm that got out of their little orbit, and then they fought for 10 years to tear those people down. Because they famously do that. I'm curious if she's one of those people, because Tom Cruise doesn't just sick himself on people.
No.
Well, I mean, look what they did to Leah Remedi. She was the most famous, high profile, but yeah.
Yeah.
Where is Shelley Miscavige? That's what I want to know.
For real, man. I just want to know, is Shelley okay?
She's not, bro.
Yeah, she's not alive, I'm sure.
They threw in that volcano where all the Thetans.
Or she's in that vault in the desert, just polishing all of L. Ron Hubbard's books.
Yeah.
For perpetuity.
All right. So
anyway, Scientology corner over.
They
Let's start a podcast, Brian. You and me, Scientology corner.
So
I don't want them coming to my house.
I do.
The Saudis did have script input, and they, quote, said things like, on page 22, you will introduce a dream sequence.
Okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
On page 23, you're going down the Amazon. Page 24, you're in India.
Yeah. So Bob Mackie was hired to design all of her outfits.
He's a genius, or was a genius. We were talking about Carol Burnett last week. The Gone with the Wind sketch, that was him. He designed that curtain rod dress. Bob Mackie was a genius.
My introduction to Bob Mackie was through Milhouse. Bob Mackie.
Yeah.
On The Simpsons when he burns his hair.
Yeah.
Oh.
The things that impressed Milhouse.
I guess he's like, Bob Mackie. Oh, Bart, I shouldn't. Like,
I mean, the costuming's fantastic, but that goes with the like cutout paper doll thing.
Yeah, it's like one of the best parts of the film, easily.
Oh, yeah, it's the thing that kept me focused on the screen.
Mm-hmm. They also hired another writer to do another pass on the script, working under the name Jenny Wolkind, because she did not want her name attached. Delia Ephron, sister of Nora Ephron.
Interesting.
All right. Yeah.
They got the wrong Ephron to touch this one up, I guess.
Delia Ephron also wrote or had a writing pass done on the film Mixed Nuts, which we did an episode on last Christmas.
A very charming
Steve
movie.
Martin.
We all agree.
Oh, okay, I remember that movie. Yeah.
The suicide prevention.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clever banter, almost Howard Hawks like in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they started filming in July 1986.
I'm sorry, come again?
1986. 6 years before it was released in the United States. Yes.
Technically speaking, there was some complicated shit going on.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, was Barbara Starr involved? Sorry,
Barbara Starr.
We've got to send Brooke Shields to Eastern Europe one more time.
We got to send her everywhere.
They did hook up with Golan and Globus at some point during the production. It's unclear as to exactly what their contributions were. Obviously, there was some financial, but Golan and Globus, the Cannon Group, responsible for what Supergirl. I think we did
Superman
Some
4,
of our favorite
Superman
cocaine
4
movies.
Yeah. Which suddenly things become so clear when we find out this movie was made by a crazy Saudi investor and Golan and Globus.
Yeah, it all now makes sense. It's like, why is she going here and there for no reason? Because a coked up sheik thought she should.
Yeah. Yes. The Saudis claim they spent $22.3 million on the film, not the $16 million that was official, but I don't know. It might have just been.
They found out drugs and hookers weren't tax deductible.
Yeah. The film was meant to be released in 1987. It was not. They tried to get a distribution deal with New World Pictures. But New World wanted to cash in on the fact that Dalton had been cast as James Bond during the filming of this movie.
What a catch for them. Holy shit.
Yeah. So they decided to hold it back until after the first James Bond film he starred in, The Living Daylights, was released. So then they pushed it back to January 1988. But then Saudi Prince Ibrahim decided he wanted a better deal from New World. So they held back the release. Then the Chicago Tribune, which owned the comic, claimed that they held all television rights, which meant that they could not, that Ibrahim could not make any money on a TV sale once it was out of theaters.
Yikes.
So they said that the distribution deal that they had with New World was unacceptable, and that pushed the whole thing back even further to September of '88. At which point, New World sued all of those other companies and got held back even longer. The Saudis blocked New World from distributing the film altogether at this point.
The Saudis.
Which in 1987, Brooke Shields' mom said, the film's not ready. They need about $60,000 more to re-edit it.
Brooke Shields' mom.
Why is she so involved with the production of this movie?
I mean, she was Brooke Shields' agent, but like,
are we sure that Brooke Shields' mom is not the fan of Brenda Starr, and just like saying her daughter is the fan?
Yeah,
could be.
New World sold the film in Zambia, Japan, Belgium, Colombia, Norway, and Swaziland. And then in 1989, New World was bought by Pathé, which is French. So it was released in France in 1989. And I assume probably... I'm assuming also those other countries.
Swaziland, yeah.
Yeah.
But that one guy didn't tell anybody he went, so it was hard to get the numbers.
Yeah.
I wonder how popular Brooke Shields was in those countries. I wonder if she had like a little spike in popularity.
Your Swaziland numbers are off the charts. Kemosabe.
A company called AMPM Productions at this point in 1990 bought the rights, the distribution rights to Brenda Starr, because at this point no one else really was interested in the film.
The gas station chain, AMPM?
Maybe. They cut 12 minutes, re-edited it, and set a date for release of June 1991. But it hadn't done well in Zambia, Norway, or Colombia. And they ended up pushing it back to 92, at which point they just dumped it.
Here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not critically well received. It has 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm wondering what this film's legacy would be if it had been released for a full theatrical run in 1987. I think it would be a little more fondly remembered.
Yeah. 92 is a weird year for it to come out.
Well, because at this point, we've already had Batman and Dick Tracy. In 87, it would have been an interesting and somewhat groundbreaking kind of way to make a comic movie.
Yeah, the animation and live action kind of intro to the movie.
They have some high concept stuff they're trying to do.
It wouldn't have felt as cheesy and dated in 87 as it did in 92.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have fit into that like Alan Quartermain kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like Take on Me, the music video is a hand drawn animation / live action animation. Like that era is kind of primed for this.
Yeah.
The perfect example of a movie taking too long to get off the launch pad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Failing as a result.
Did you see this quote by Dalton?
Go ahead. Read it out.
He says, it's probably the best work Brooks ever done.
I mean, that's not saying a lot.
Wow.
I think
it's not wrong either, but it feels...
It was in 91 that he said that.
I mean, honestly, I enjoyed every moment of her performance. Like, it wasn't bad. I think that the writing
might
of
be her
character,
best.
Yeah.
No, she had sass. She had agency. Comic time. I might agree with Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, I mean, she was fine. She did fine. It was,
Because
Well, and she's
because
also
of her
19,
weird
right?
child.
Well, she was 20 while she was
19.
filming it, and she filmed it while she was on break from college. So
Yeah, she doesn't have a large body of work, to be honest. So
no, her biggest is probably Suddenly Susan, which I don't know. That was a show. Her '90s sitcom. How long did that run?
Like 6 or 7 years, right?
Something like that. Yeah. Let's see. Oof.
well,
Yes.
it's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, it ran for something like that. Yeah, no, 4 years. 4 years. But yeah, I mean, she was fine. She was fine in this. As we mentioned, Timothy Dalton starred as Basil St. John. Tony Peck starred as Mike Randall. Tony Peck is Gregory Peck's son.
That's insane.
And he's married to
It's the
Cheryl.
chin.
Yeah,
I guess.
he's married to Cheryl Teagues.
Still is?
Well, no,
Or like he was anyway?
married to Cheryl Teagues. Yeah, he is not
All right.
currently. He's currently married to Paula Peck. They had the same.
He
last
married
name.
his sister.
Yeah, they find each other.
Just a couple other quick cast notes. This is largely a cast of people that didn't do a whole lot. Diana Scarwood stars as Libby Lipscomb, her rival reporter.
Who wants her dead?
Yes. No, she wants to murder her.
I'll scoop
But
you,
she's
bitch.
also not willing to do it herself.
No, she's not. Diana Scarwood was also in Pretty Baby. Rumblefish, Silkwood. Yeah, so not a lot there. Nestor Serrano as Jose. I don't remember who Jose was.
No, yeah, no. There were so
He was
many.
the pilot.
Oh, okay. Jeffrey Tambor as Vladimir.
That was weird.
There's always money in the black
Orchid
Yeah.
business.
June Gable as Luba. That's the Russian chick. She is not
Wait.
related
Okay.
to Clark Gable.
Holy shit, this movie is the children of
Yeah, no.
golden era Hollywood.
As far as I can tell, she is not related to Clark Gable. She's most well known as playing Estelle, the Joey's agent on Friends. Oh my God, there were two Jose's. No, there's a second Jose. Sergio Cato also played Jose. Two characters just named Jose.
There was also a Carl with a C, a Carl with a K, and a Carlos.
Oh my God. I feel like this kind of stuff was on purpose, but it didn't read.
And all of these characters spent 2 minutes on screen, maybe 5. Yeah. Too many. But then there were some guest stars. Yeah, Charles Durning here.
Charles Durning played Francis Livrite.
He's way into it for some reason.
Oh yeah, like super into it. Muppet movie. He was in Dick Tracy. Oh brother, where art thou? Tootsie, The Sting, Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Home for the Holidays, the best Thanksgiving movie. Just saying.
Well, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles has something to say about that.
I disagree. And I love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but that set around Thanksgiving doesn't take place at Thanksgiving. But anyways,
Fair.
Yeah. Charles Durning. Who else was there? Oh, Henry Gibson.
Yes. Yeah.
Playing a Nazi again.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Henry Gibson. Let's see. Kathleen Wilhoit as Hank O'Hare. It's interesting that that this was a female character named Hank who was so like gruff and crusty. God. She's a character actress. I recognize her. Let's see. She was in Murphy's Lorenzo's Oil. Oh, she was in Roadhouse.
Oh yeah, she was the little waitress, the sassy waitress. I knew she was.
That's right. Oh,
familiar.
And she was also in Twin Peaks. She had a guest role in Twin Peaks. I can't remember who she played. But yeah, I definitely recognized her.
That's who she. Yeah, I recognized her, but I couldn't place her.
Yeah. And of course, Ed Nelson as President Harry S. Truman. I think it's funny that Annie gets FDR, but Brenda Starr can only get Truman.
Can get colossal asshole.
Yeah.
Forget the atom bombs. I heard it was just historically the biggest prick you could ever fucking.
Yeah, no, I can't help but think that if FDR knew he was going to die, he would never have picked Truman for his fourth term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oof. He was played by Ed Nelson, as I mentioned, who is best known as Dr. Michael Rossi on Peyton Place. That's a boomer thing that I know nothing about.
You kids may know me best.
Yeah, Sergeant Fatso Judson.
From the end of eternity.
So yeah, that's about it for the background. I have a few reviews here from Letterboxd. It was not reviewed by Siskel and Ebert. They did not spend any time on this.
Like it's beneath them, cowards.
Yeah.
Once again, owned by one of their.
Oh, that's
companies.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. It was the reviews for this thing by the people of the world on Letterboxd is crazy. There's hardly any 5 stars, hardly any 1 stars. There's a lot of people in the middle.
Far out.
Yeah.
I never would have. Yes.
So
nobody wants to give Brooke Shields 1 star.
Nobody does.
True. She is darling.
And Brenda Starr. She needs more than 1 star. I don't know.
Brenda, 5 star.
or 3. I don't know. Yeah. It wasn't that great.
Yeah. In-depth review writes, when I saw Brooke Shields riding 2 alligators like water skis, I knew I had found something fantastic. 3 stars.
I'm with them.
3 stars.
Yeah. Some, but not all.
Wow.
Danger Storm writes, I'm sad that she had no belly button. 2 stars.
Somebody's strangely sexually attracted to a belly button.
Yes.
I mean, it's weird not to have one, but it's a weird thing to be like,
that's
the lack of belly button doesn't do it for me.
Ruined the movie.
Yeah. Queen Surprise writes, silly fun with girly fashion. Great wigs. 3 stars.
Okay.
And Abby writes, shout out to Madison, who spent her hard-earned $3.99 on this rental so I could give it a bad rating. Thanks, girl.
I hope that they have a podcast.
That's 2 stars. So yeah, I don't know, guys. You ready to just jump into the movie?
Yeah, let's just get down the Amazon.
Draw ourselves into the panel.
All right, here we go. This is Brenda Starr. We open on a credit sequence over. Quick note. So this movie only currently exists in 4:3 TV format. It is not. There is no digital print available of it in its original theatrical format. It was released only on DVD and VHS. Like, so the original theatrical print, just as far as we can tell, just doesn't exist anymore.
Wild.
Yeah. Only DVD rips exist.
They're only the only copies are used in black sites in Saudi Arabia for torture.
There's a credit sequence over panels of the comic strip. Then comic artist is drawing a panel. He's bad at mouths, apparently. We find out his name is Mike Randall. He doesn't like the story he got from the creator of the strip and complains to himself about Brenda. And then Brenda just comes to life and walks out of the panel into a different part of the story.
Yeah, so like this stuff, they were trying to do some high concept stuff that just ended up being like extra baggage, i.e. Mike. But
yeah. It's the whole like meta fourth wall breaking portion of it was really weird and handled pretty clumsily. Like there's nothing that sparked her coming to life. She just got sick of his shit and left.
Yeah. And
sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah. And he's not the creator. He doesn't like it. He doesn't care. Very weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it really is.
It's just no one's invested in the conflict in the beginning at all.
No.
You know?
And
all of a sudden Mike is attracted to his animation because it started talking to him.
Yeah.
I guess
so. But then like when he draws himself in, there's no like he's just there. Like it's so confusing.
Yeah, he's just there.
How all of this works is so confusing.
Like, I don't know. He could have drawn himself in with like a gun or something too.
Yeah, but also like they didn't hang a hat enough on the meta aspect of it. And then sometimes like they just talk about it just straightforwardly and everyone
like I need you to come back with me to be in the cartoon or come back with me to the real world.
Well, like he needs her to come back to what he was drawing, but like what? I don't know. This is all very confusing. Why?
Yeah.
Because she didn't leave the comic strip. When I read the description, I thought she like left the strip and came to the real world, but that's not what she did.
No, she just went on her own.
Yeah.
She just went to a different part of the comic strip he wasn't currently drawing.
Gregory Peck.
But also not initially. Initially, she's still in that building where the O'Shea gang, which is one Irish guy with a Tommy gun, is holding the police at bay.
Dressed like a movie Italian gangster.
Yeah.
Public Enemy number 3.
That's right.
Yeah, number 3. And his accent slipped in and out. It's funny.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. And also, again, why would an Irish American gangster have an Irish accent in the first place?
He did grow up in Ireland.
Oh, did they mention that?
Yeah. So she wants to interview him, get his like childhood story, his life story.
Okay.
He's talking about some teacher who had it out for him.
So he's fresh off the boat then.
More or less. But
showed up, got a Tommy gun, and started fighting the cops.
Like he got blamed for something and he had to sit on the bench at the school. So he decided if he was going to take the blame for stuff, he might as well do it.
Okay. That's more backstory. That's more backstory than we get for any of the actual characters.
Right.
Hey, Kappa.
So anyways, she infiltrates the building where the leader of the O'Shea gang is in a standoff with police. We meet her nemesis, Libby Lipscomb, a reporter from a rival newspaper. Brenda's taken hostage by the gangster. They go out on the window ledge with her. They fall off the building. Brenda manages to put him underneath her, which cushions her fall with his body.
I love that. The mid fall just twist it. I loved it.
Yeah, the fall was not that high.
The fall, the background of the building kept recycling going past them.
Yeah. I wish this movie had stayed in that lane and acknowledged how absurd things like that were.
Right.
But it doesn't. Like there are moments when we get into absurdity and surreal stuff. She's riding alligators, you know, like the Russians are surreal themselves. They're fucking so weird. but they just there's no like acknowledging this is all weird. They're just trying to like rush past these weird things.
Yeah. Tonally, it was all over the place. At times, it was almost too serious, and then at other times, it's extremely absurd. And it,
but the fall from the window is like it's hilarious. It plays for so long that it's like you hit the comedic beat before they hit the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I can see they did that purposefully, but like they never kept that level of camp. It wasn't campy enough. It should have been campy.
No, it wasn't. Is he in the comic or is she in the real world?
Oh, they're in the comic.
They're in the comic.
They are all in the comic, but it's also very confusing because she just walks into a different part. I don't know. I don't understand it.
All right. Yeah, I don't know why I'm trying to figure it out.
So she survives. She ends up in the hospital. She just has a bandage around her head, which is always hilarious to me. I love when they just put a bandage around the head. Because, like, what is that helping? Unless there's like an abrasion that you're covering.
It's like a moistened cloth.
Yeah. Like, also get like a blanket and a cup of coffee. She wakes up in the hospital. No. At this point, in a panic, Mike is afraid he'll get fired. So he draws himself into the strip, putting himself in the comic world. Brenda wakes up in the hospital. She gets visited by her coworkers, Hank O'Hare and Pesky Miller. They tell her she's a hero, is getting a medal from the chief. She's visited by Libby, who taunts her that she's got a big story that Brenda can't compete with. So then,
and I'll fucking murder you if you try.
Brenda heads back to the paper. Oh, also they're getting there's something about their salaries are being cut, and then they never really address that again later. I guess they all got their salaries cut.
Chicks.
Yeah.
They said circulation was down for the Flash.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Mike is looking for Brenda around the city. Brenda arrives at the office. She's greeted as a hero, sees her boss, who shows her a film strip of a Einsteinian-looking scientist.
At play.
Yeah.
It's filmed like really goofy home movie.
Yes.
I don't know. It's not like science, like just set the camera up and watch the experiment or whatever. It's like old timey movies where they move fast like Benny Hill and they're waving and like goofing around.
I mean, he's
gonna stick a whole.
He's clearly a huckster and not a scientist.
Yeah,
in that video.
But he's like selling it to like the native people. I guess.
Yeah.
But
tribesmen. Yeah.
But I'm confused as to why the native people would be impressed that the magic bird, which they apparently don't understand airplanes, why they would be impressed that it has a different source of fuel.
Alternative fuel source. Yeah. If anyone's seen or heard of Fitzcarraldo, the Werner Herzog movie, I don't know. It looks just like Klaus Kinski's character, just the crazy wild German in the middle of a jungle, just animatedly screaming. It was almost intentional. Anyway. So he has the alternative fuel source.
Yeah, I can make it. He adds
Nazi.
it. He can add it to water. Yes, he's a Nazi scientist. So
living in Brazil because they all invested in a bunch of property in Brazil in the late 40s.
Yeah. He didn't get snagged by the paperclip.
Yeah, so she's going to head off and try to get the scoop on this before Libby can get it. Meanwhile, Mike is reading a comic of himself in the comic that he's in the comic, and he's reading a comic of himself that's forecasting what's about to happen to him. And then a fortune teller, he sees the fortune teller in the comic, and then the fortune teller just appears at the table he's at in the cafe.
Who's drawing
and then
the
just disappears.
Yeah. This was one of the most confusing scenes to me. I did not understand what was happening at all.
Yeah.
And it's never really explained or brought back up. I thought maybe he'd continue looking at the strip to see what was going to happen. But no. So then Brenda visits Harry Truman and plays piano for a while. And Harry Truman.
That's what he was known for.
Yeah. Being friendly and warm.
Playing the piano.
And playing piano.
And he tells her he's worried that the Russians are going to get this fuel and use it to put a giant magnifying glass in front of the sun.
That's just so. It literally is a Mr. Burns.
I love that. That's the threat.
And who does he call? Ace reporter Brenda Starr.
Yeah.
Well, is this not a nuclear world? Are there no nuclear weapons?
I don't know.
Truman dropped the bomb.
But I mean, like, is this an alternate universe
right,
where,
in
like,
this world,
the biggest threat to humanity is a magnifying glass in space?
I guess so. I don't know. I don't know anything. Yeah. This movie was so confusing on every single level. Brenda heads back to the office where she meets Basil St. John, a spy with an eye patch. He tells Basil St. John, Basil, Coriander St. John.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be a stickler, but yeah, it's common
Basil.
British name.
Basil. Yeah, Basil Fawlty. Yeah. So he's tells her the scientist is in a small village in the Amazon where he's from. He lives there, I guess, on a plantation.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say he's not native to the jungles of the Amazon, but a plantation definitely makes sense.
He escaped Germany, right? It's just
was
another.
He a Nazi too?
I mean, I would assume so. He's wearing an eye
Thought
patch.
he was. He seemed like it. He either seemed like a Nazi or Albert Einstein's brother.
We're talking about two different people.
Oh.
No, we're talking about.
Oh, we're talking about
Timothy Dalton.
Basil Fawlty.
Yes. Basil is a.
Basil says he's from Brazil. He has a British accent. And I'm very.
He says his whole family's from Brazil. They cultivate that flower.
Is he the inspiration for the Brazilian helicopter pilot in Inside Out? Do you guys remember that little short sequence where the mom's little emotions are like, well, we could also have been with that helicopter pilot, and it's like this dream boat. He's in all black and he's got like the Timothy Dalton hair.
Wow,
it looks just like Timothy Dalton in this movie. It's weird.
I don't know,
but he's Brazilian.
It's been too long since I've seen Inside Out. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Huh.
Is he a Nazi? I feel like he could be or not, and it wouldn't really.
I don't understand who this character is supposed to be at all.
I don't at all.
Other than Timothy Dalton in an eye patch.
He's descended from English pirates.
Well, and later on, he's Zorro.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not supposed to be explained. He's the mystery man.
All right. Except he takes her to his house, which they didn't have the money to film, so they drew it. So,
Patch Adams.
Yeah. So he's gonna help Brenda. Libby has planted a bug and is listening in, and the Russians are listening in to her. Is that what's happening there?
Yes. I love the piggybacking on spy stuff. That made me laugh so hard. And when they cut from one mic to the other room, to the mic in that room, to the other room, that shit got me. That and like those are the things that I wanted from this movie, is more like absurd.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
And Vladimir, supposedly the head Russian, is like, who is this?
Why are we listening to this?
Who is she listening to? And who is Basil?
And who thinks they can steal our giant magnifying glass?
Which we're going to put near the sun.
Yeah, the spy stuff, it's like it almost walks up to top secret territory and then backs off. I think of that scene where she and Basil are at the table and there are the different contingencies at the table. Like the CIA clearly looks like the CIA with an American flag, like the French secret police. Like that's almost top secret type humor. And then they just sort of abruptly stop. They're like, nope, we don't want to get it too wacky.
Yeah, they should have gone all in.
Imagine like a table of CIA guys sending you a drink. You know, there's four, they look the way they looked in American flags.
Who did Airplane?
Zucker Abrams.
The Zucker brothers. Yeah.
This needed some of that juice.
That's what they did. Top Secret as well with Val Kilmer. The spy movie.
They should have gone full Zucker.
Yeah.
I know a little German. He's right over there.
So Brenda gets on a flight to Brazil and is immediately drugged by the Russians who kidnap her.
She's an ace detective, but man, is she a gullible idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Look over there while I drug your drink, and you can hear it fizz.
A lot of gullible idiots in this one, boy.
Yeah, everybody has to be an idiot for this movie to work.
The way that she looked at the drink, I thought she was going to be wise to the fact that he just slipped her a Mickey, but no.
She's all, Mickey Fins are my favorite drink, actually. Joke's on you. I'm into this.
I love to black out.
He's pretending to be from Puerto Rico.
I love the Puerto Rico.
I loved that. I love that. You're Puerto Rican?
Da. He says da.
Da.
See, again, it gets there and it does it, and then it just backs away and is too cowardly to go full on.
Right, because Cuba would have made sense with the da, with the Russian thing.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico's ours. So it was, You're Puerto Rican?
Puerto Rico was a weird choice. I love that they were in Puerto Rico, though. It's cool to see Puerto Rico in a movie.
Yeah, they actually shot it. They shot the entire thing. All of the jungle stuff was in Puerto Rico.
Which I assumed once they were in the Amazon. I was like, this is still Puerto Rico. Let's be real.
All of it was Puerto Rico. Absolutely.
But I agree. It should have been Cuba. Would have made way more sense for the story to have Russians.
Yeah. I mean,
also around the end of the Cold War, it would make sense.
It would have made a lot more sense for Russia. Castro, he's communist. It's right there. Come on.
If I was going to install a giant magnifying glass, I'd do it on Cuba. That's closest to us.
Yeah. We'll take out Miami.
The Bay of Magnified Pigs crisis.
They look so big.
They look so
magnified pigs. Oh, they're just normal sized pigs. Why did we bring all these tanks?
Once you get
giant
closer,
pigs will eat us all.
I, for one, welcome our pig overlords.
Tanks for nothing.
Tanks. Yeah,
so
totally.
She escapes using makeup and her purse from the Russians.
Which was funny because they're going through her purse and they find they actually say is like, why did she clearly doesn't wear this much makeup? Why does she have it all? And it's all like her escape, her combat makeup.
I think that was her real makeup, though. I think that was her whole self-care routine in her bag, and she's just crafty.
I wish we had seen some grease paint.
This
for a clown.
This is another moment where it's like, oh my god, she can't wear all this makeup, and then they show her putting it on.
Mm-hmm.
That was so funny.
Yeah, no,
so funny to me.
There are all these moments, and it just walks up to that edge.
Yeah.
So there's a big chase sequence through the streets of Puerto Rico. She meets back up with Basil, who is now Zorro.
Another top secret style humor. The two goons pick up Vladimir and use him as battering ram.
Yes.
Yeah.
Try and get through the door.
Yes.
His head is very dense.
They're using his feet.
Yeah.
But still, like the look on his face, he just goes completely stiff, but he's clearly not enjoying this.
You know, I think through all of this, Jeffrey Tambor had a really good tone. A really good timbre.
Yes.
A tambour.
Anyways, yeah, so I love when he takes his Zorro mask off and he has the eye patch under the mask.
So good. That's like the two mustaches.
The two mustaches. So they ride their horses straight into what appears to be a random plane and says, take us to the Amazon.
Oh, this was another fantastical moment where he picks her up and they're riding on one horse and they ride behind a bush and there's a flash and they come out on two different horses.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
The mystical Puerto Rico. Yeah. So they fly to Brazil. Her and Basil have a romantic dinner. And he tells her that his family needs the serum of the black orchid or they'll go insane.
Before their time.
Before their time. Thank you, Al.
Their time for going insane.
Like there's an expiration date, like eggs or something.
But later on, this turns out to be what's in this formula, right?
No, the black orchid did not was not in the fuel formula.
Okay, I really thought they were going to go there and then.
But her response to this explanation is, nobody's perfect.
Yeah, so weird. I will go and say before my time, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah. My follow-up question would be, okay, and so when is your time? When is that? How long do I have?
March 22nd, 2000. Yeah. My time. As if we all go insane. That's just a part of going old. Going insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
So then Mike flies to the Amazon with and as does Libby Lipscomb. I'm unsure as to how they. I don't know how Mike figured out how to get there.
She was hiding inside the horse.
How did Mike get money for an airplane? I'm very confused about a lot of things.
Shining shoes.
Okay. Mike arrives at the dinner. Brenda tells him off. She's still mad about what he said when he was drawing her. She's completely aware she's a comic strip character, and he is the artist who draws her.
Yeah, she knows him well.
And so she and Basil kiss. She goes back to the hotel. There are unconscious Russians in the room. Mike is there also. He tells her he knocked them out. Then he takes a bath, and they talk about her purses and clothes.
And her lack of a navel.
And bad language.
She sees his belly button, is like, were you in the war? Did you get wounded?
Yeah, and he says we can't draw a belly button because of the censors.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's one of the funnier bits inside this, like, I drew you, you're in a comic book, I'm inside the comic book thing. There needed to be way more of this.
Well, yeah, and they're talking like, well, clearly I wouldn't be able to afford all these clothes on my salary as a reporter.
Yeah.
Which was the thing. Dahlia Messick, she got letters from actual female reporters saying, asking her to, like, draw Brenda Starr more true to life. And Messick was like, well, if I did that, nobody would read it.
Right. Who cares about?
Yeah. I mean,
but,
I wonder how many young girls read this and were like, I could be a journalist. You know?
Yeah.
Or Lois Lane.
Baba Wawa.
Well, I mean, Lois Lane. I could kiss Superman.
Connie Chung.
She barely works. Yeah.
Connie Chung and the love of her life, Maury Povich.
Do you think he's ever like, I'm not the father? Connie's like, oh, you're so hilarious.
Like, all right, Maury, just eat your.
Maury likes to wear an eye patch.
Yeah,
they usually just. I just thought he pretended to be Geraldo from time to time.
He puts on a mustache, rips it off, and there's another mustache.
But it is interesting that in the movie, Brenda thinks it's him, Mike, the artist, that has a problem with how she looks and how she dresses. Like, you're always criticizing me, you don't like that, and it's the censors. But of course, from her perspective, he's just constantly changing her because he's unsatisfied. It was a neat little meta.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not me.
The conversation about the tiny purses, where she's complaining that he always draws her with her purse is too small. It just clicked with me when we were talking about the makeup, that she's got these small purses, and she's complaining how she has to carry around tiny little notebooks because the purses are too small, but they're stuffed with makeup and perfume.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the same time.
Bitches be shopping.
So they head out to a boat. She tries to lose Mike on the way. They're also being followed by the Russians and Libby Lipscomb. They get to the boat. She tells the crew Mike's her photographer, so he won't get shot by the captain.
I also love that Mike's like, "Are you in love with that one-eyed guy?" But yeah, mercenaries on the boat.
Yeah. And so they're gonna. The boat crew double crosses them. They're gonna throw them into the piranha infested river.
I love the like. Oh, he's getting seasick on a river. Well, he says on the Amazon, but yeah.
Oh, and Libby arrived and made a deal with another boat captain to go up the river.
Oh my God,
pilot.
the real pilot. The real captain who's being held down, below deck.
The real Captain Borg?
Yeah, he was what, Norwegian?
I knew immediately that wasn't the real captain.
The Norwegian guy. His accent was just hilarious.
All the accent work in this
like the
movie
Swedish
was off the charts.
No, you're right, but no, this guy was so good.
Yeah.
So good. Piranha. I can't do his voice. I'd have to listen again. Look, he cracked me up.
Yeah, so anyways...
Eat the cow in 5 seconds? Oh, I slipped into Scottish right at the end there.
Nothing but the blood.
The only Swedish
Anyway.
I know is Boingy. So,
Erske Berske. And whacking fish on the counter.
yeah.
More.
And Nate Faxon's character on our flag means.
Oh, yeah, he's great. He's
That's a good one.
great.
The Swede.
So yeah, the captain and the captain and the fake captain both fall in to the piranhas. Mike and Brenda jump off the other side of the boat. They swim to shore and escape through the jungle. They spend the night in a tree. The next day they catch a ride with a traveling circus.
Yeah, in the middle of the Amazon.
And they're all Romani. Like...
Except for the capoeira guys.
Yes.
Yeah, the capoeira guys.
Yeah, they have the gypsy wagon and everything. How do you travel through the Amazon with that? Do they slash and burn areas to put on there?
Like, yes, there are no traveling troops of circus people in the Amazon.
There aren't a lot of roads, bro.
Yeah, it's the Amazon.
Especially at that time.
Yeah, in the 40s.
Now you could drive around the Amazon all you want. It's all what's it called?
It's all cattle land now.
Well, cattle land, and what's that nut that everybody grows for the oil?
Oh, coconut nut?
Castor oil? Is it castor oil that they're making?
It's palm oil.
Palm oil, thank you.
Yeah, palm oil, which they replaced.
Palm oils. That's what's killing all the orangutans.
Yeah.
Like taking all those up there.
So
I love you, Dr. Zaius. Sorry, I had to say that.
I hate every chimp I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee. They're with the circus. The Russians arrive, and the circus performers. There's a whole thing where they're fighting and jumping and twirling, and they
try to force her to work the high wire.
Yes.
She asks for a change of clothes, and they put her in that skimpy little carny performer.
Yeah.
The way sexy Carney's dressed.
Sexy Carney's. Ooh.
She could have worked the bottle throw.
Old Jebediah is the sexiest Carney around. There's
another fun Vladimir moment where he's trapped by the jugglers.
Yeah.
And then he's scared, but then eventually he's like fascinated by them.
Well, and starts juggling with them, but he's not really juggling. He's
not
just
really juggling.
Waving two up and down. Yeah. So anyways, they escape. Mike and Brenda escape in a circus truck, and while driving, they just start making out. So they crash.
Right.
Which is like, come on, Mike.
There may be roads in Brazil, but they're not straight.
Yeah.
Watch out for that river.
Well, and also, like,
Where we're going.
like, stop, make out, and then continue driving. Like, you don't make out while you're driving. Come on.
Well, and you're not going to make it to second base with your hands on the wheel.
Yeah. Well, his hands weren't on the wheel, which is why they crashed.
He's trying to take the risky second base maneuver while behind the wheel of the car.
The second base maneuver. So they start walking. They just run into Basil.
The Amazon's not that big. It's a couple of acres.
Yeah, he just canoes on up.
Yeah.
Just canoes on up.
Can I canoe you?
Canoodle.
So they go on a boat. They're going upriver to the village. This is the weirdest sequel to Apocalypse Now I've ever seen.
Oh, the canoe.
Rambo. Yeah, they're going up river.
When he rides up, the canoe is relatively short, but then when they leave, it's like twice as long.
Yeah.
And they've got Mike stuck on the
magic
front.
of the Amazon.
Yeah.
Separated from Brenda and Basil. And he brought lunch.
Yes.
Naturally. He drew lunch.
So they eventually get to the village where the scientists...
Puerto Verde?
Yes. They go into a bar. They ask about the scientist. He's sick in bed in the back of the bar. And they go in. He dies. But Brenda finds the formula on him. When they leave, the bartender calls Berlin, I guess. I'm not sure who he calls because then no one from Berlin shows up. It's just the Russians and everyone again. Maybe it was the Russians' contact in Berlin. Or Libby Lipscomb.
Or Eastern Berlin, you know.
Oh, East Berlin. That's right. I forgot there was that happening.
And technically they're Soviets still because this is the 50s, right?
Yeah.
Or 40s because Truman's president.
He was president until 52.
Okay, that's right. He made his way into Korea.
So they're heading towards Basil's house where Brenda can use the phone, but they run into Libby and the Russians, and there's a whole thing. They fall in the river. They're throwing the purse back and forth, which has the formula in it. This is the point where Brenda water skis on the alligators.
The best part of the movie, man. This is the high point.
She puts Fonzie to shame.
Yeah,
seriously.
She didn't just jump the shark; she skied the gators.
Wait, jumping the shark predates this, right? So this is clearly a reference to the Fonz riding two sharks. Like I would assume that this is like because that's one of the more popular. I mean, we're still saying "jump the shark" in 2023. It's been 40 years.
45.
It's in the lexicon. It's separate from Happy Days at this point. It's like Doe, Homer's, you know.
Yeah. Or like Stan, you know. People forget that it came from a Eminem song.
Yeah.
Like it outgrew its origins.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was clearly them being like, this will be funny if we put that in.
Yeah.
Did you say REM song or Eminem song?
Oh, Eminem song.
Oh, Eminem. Yeah. I know which one you mean now.
The song Stan is where the term stands of fans.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Yeah. Did anybody else notice last night in that M&M's commercial in the movie that the green one just wasn't as sexy as she used?
I disagree. I like.
Oh, that was Tucker Carlson's big thing.
I like my green M&Ms to be relatively androgynous. What can I say?
I like most of my candy to be, if it's going to be anthropomorphic.
Remember when the rumor was that the green M&Ms made girls horny?
I do.
No, I don't remember that.
That was a schoolyard rumor.
That was a schoolyard rumor.
Yeah.
How old were you?
Created by women to get free
10,
M&Ms.
9, 8, somewhere around there. It was
that makes sense.
Mid 80s. Yeah. The green ones made girls horny, so you always wanted to give them the green M&Ms. I was very unclear as to what that would actually mean when a girl got horny at the age of 9, but I was willing to take a chance.
Lots of hitting. I assume you just get punched by a girl.
Yeah. They escape from them. They get to Basil's house.
Vladimir and Luba get eaten by a crocodile.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're just gone now.
He gets his head eaten by the crocodile.
But there's a short scene where the crocodile's swimming with Luba's cigar, and you can hear their voices inside.
Yeah.
Catch them! Help me! But I don't think they show up again.
No. They're gone.
No.
They're out of the movie.
It would have been funny if they had like ridden the crocodile all the way to some other scene in the movie.
And they crawl out of the crocodile's mouth.
He rode it to another scene. Totally.
Yeah. So at Basil's house, Libby shows up with the captain that she's apparently sleeping with now, and steals
Jose?
the formula. Yeah, Jose. One of the
'cause
Jose's.
She paid him, but she did not have money.
Right.
Well,
And he like shakes his-
initially she paid him $150 and gave him her garter belt.
Her garter
and then
belt.
when she needs a second ride, he says, "I want more than your garter belt this time."
Yeah.
And
Even after the garter belt thing, she gives sort of a sexy look, like a sexy knowing, like.
No, Libby.
Folks at home, I'm doing an incredibly sexy face right now.
It is incredibly sexy.
Let's be clear.
Just to verify.
Libby Lipscomb's a hellcat in bed.
Yeah, yeah. She's got a lot of those Sharon Stone Basic Instinct vibes.
Yes, absolutely. So
You might not survive the night.
No, but she'll show you her vagina.
if you know what I mean.
If you get my drift.
I was reminded kicking and screaming. It's like,
She ate all the green M&Ms,
Yes,
I'm assuming.
she'll fuck you on a tennis court if you know what I mean.
I thought the fuck her on a test for if you get my meaning. I have no idea
I
what
have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Watch. Kicking and
it's such a good
screaming.
movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Noah
One of the
Baumbach's
best Gen
first
X.
film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
One of the best Gen X movies
So good. Yeah.
created.
Because it's so non-Gen X, but also very Gen X.
So
Because it's
very
Noah
Gen
Baumbach,
X.
and he doesn't actually know what the kids are doing.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's spot on.
No, it really is.
That ennui.
But it being Noah Baumbach, they're all constantly wearing suits and just sitting around.
Well, that's the whole deal. Like, remember the chick? You guys all talk the same. You know, just that idea of the insular clique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Libby takes off with the formula. She ties up Mike, Brenda, and Basil. The next day, Mike and Brenda discover that the formula was fake because they see it melted the car engine they used it on. I skipped the thing where they put the formula in the car engine earlier, but they did that, and it made the car go fast. It turns out it's actually what, Al? I can't remember. You look like you wrote it down.
It was acetone mixed with model rocket fuel.
Yeah. Fingernail polish remover.
Yes. They have a scoop that the formula is a fake. Back in New York, Libby gets humiliated by Brenda's story. Brenda gets hailed as a hero. Mike and Brenda have a romantic moment where he shows her how he draws her.
Yeah.
Like one of his French girls. Then he goes back to the real world where he's happy to draw Brenda every day. Roll credits.
Yep.
That was indeed a series of images synced with sound that I viewed.
Moving pictures.
I don't know. I don't have any unanswered questions or thoughts on this thing.
No.
I think the mechanic of him drawing himself into the movie, it needed to be used again. He needed to like draw them an alligator or something later on. In the movie.
There should have been.
Yeah.
It was simultaneously too meta and not meta enough.
Right.
Yeah.
He should have been able to change things in the moment.
Mhm.
And he just was not.
Yeah.
He was often in peril in his own story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to have him be able to change Barbara Starr on a whim. She can speak Russian now or something.
Like I said in the text, Mike was the most cartoonish character in this movie.
Yeah.
By far.
Easily.
Yeah.
They didn't know what to do with him.
You often heard swirly birds. You didn't see them, but you heard the tweeting of birds when he got like conked or something like that, and when he took the shot of Pinga. Just the sound effects that were going along. There were a lot of subtle sound effects. At one point when Brenda's car breaks down before Basil picks her up in Puerto Rico, the car breaks down and it's like a guy voicing a car breaking down.
Yeah, there was some.
It groans at the end. Oh,
yeah. I didn't even really. I forgot to mention the director of the film because it feels like it wasn't directed so much as it just came into existence. But it was Robert Ellis Miller, who is best known for absolutely nothing. He made a bunch of stuff, but none of it is anything anyone's ever heard of. He directed on a TV series in the 60s, which is not something you want to put on your resume.
Who didn't?
Yeah.
You know?
He made a film called Any Wednesday, The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, The Buttercup Chain.
Oh, I've heard of the second one.
The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, starring Sandra Locke. 1968. After this, God, he has so many credits that are just nothing. His final film was The Angel of Pennsylvania Avenue from 1996. Starring Robert Urich. He got nominated. Oh, he won the Palme d'Or for The Buttercup Chain in 1970. Wow. Yeah. The Heart is a Lonely Hunter got nominated for Best Picture. Okay, so I mean, he's not nobody, but like, yeah, this movie's not good, not well directed. But I don't know. Any final thoughts, guys, before we move on?
No, it's not a great movie, but it was funny and cute. I forgave it for a lot of things, knowing that it was filmed in '86.
Yeah.
I treated it like an '80s movie, even though it didn't appear in the U.S. until '92.
And I don't know. Good for you. There were some fantastic movies in the '80s.
Yeah.
This not among them.
This movie was filmed 2 years after Ghostbusters was released. Like,
yeah, no, I don't think this succeeded.
This feels like Howard the Duck levels of like missing the goal of the thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree with that.
Yeah,
like they had a clear goal, and they landed 5 miles past it. You know,
I mean, she was cute, but I don't know that the story was all that cute.
Yeah,
But anyway.
Brooke Shields works as Brenda Starr.
Yeah, she was fine. She looks the part. She looked great in all of the clothes.
And every time that they revealed her in a new outfit, it was like impressive. It wasn't like, oh, she got a new outfit on.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. I think that's it. That's it for Brenda Starr. Next week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we'll be getting into holiday phosphorescence. We're going to be doing some Christmas movies. So we'll be back to our regular programming after the holidays. Until then, thank you everyone for hanging out with us. This has been your host, Thoreau Smiley, urging you to bug off, Buster.
I'm Josh Cece, and I feel like I've been Brenda scarred.
The question is, who are all these people in this movie we just watched? I don't get any of this. I'm Brian Lesh.
They say, staring into the eye of an Alaric Weber, a person can become encantado.
It's true.
Cobra Grande.
We'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.
Bye.